bloody murder. I'm about to close the curtain. I'm a bride, bitch, I'm working. Sorry, all them lies, it ain't working. Them niggas weak, they be churching. I'm a West nigga, that's for certain. They cross the line, I'm gonna back up and I'ma hit his ass with his knife. And I come through 300 strong, 144 a night. All my niggas, we eat. In this bitch with the Irish. Say, all y'all do the sweet. Tell y'all do the sweet. A nigga made the wrong move when he make his ass out the lead. He ain't one of us hit the lead. He ain't one of us hit a break. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. I keep it low to the T. UPK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell them get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. They come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas on retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas on retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas on retreat. You see this stuff that's on my face, bitch, I'm for real with it. I hit this first blood on my cleats, was in the field with it. It's soft as cotton, just an after Uncle feel with it. And then my target's on the move, but I can still hit it. Hey, I speak true cause it's necessary. Color Jack revolutionary. Cold on them like January. Commander General is a visionary. No food, no sweets. Your preacher man, he's sweet. Matter of fact, he weak. It's wartime for peace. Think you hard, nigga, you ain't. But with us, nigga, you can't. You smart cars, we takes. We form up in ranks. We body bad this rap shit. All black, no bright shit. Real life, no cap, bitch. Fall on, that's cap shit. I can't go to the team. UPK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck and my youngin' did a sweep. It's a whole nother way. Tell them get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. They come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Go ahead.
This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. Today is Tuesday, and today's is the Brotherhood class. Brotherhood is one of the main key ingredients in keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. That is something that keeps our people together, keep our people unified, and separates us from the rest of these nations. Now, one thing that our people need to understand is when we look at brotherhood, we got to understand that something that we do is we take a certain oath, not only an oath with our brothers, but an oath according to the Most High. So when you look at oath, what is that? All right, does this work? You say this on right here? Alexa, what is the definition of oath?
Oath is usually defined as a solemn appeal to a deity or to some revered person or thing to witness one's determination to speak the truth, to keep a promise, etc. For more, ask me to give you more.
All right, you can shut your face. Shut your face. Shut your face. See that? Oath is a promise. Now, in everything that you see brothers might pledge a fraternity, go into the military, even doctors take a certain oath, and this is what this class is about. What is your oath? And what we must do to keep it? What happens when we don't keep it? Like I said, when you go to these different religions, different cultures and things of that nature, you go to, like I said, you go to a fraternity. What do? You sit there and you make a promise, or you pledge yourself to be a part of a Greek fraternity. Pledge yourself by, stripping down your pants to your ankles, or let somebody take a wood and take it to your rear, saying that's my brother. Well, that's some weird brotherhood right there, man. Right. If I ain't never seen him, boy, that is some weird brother. You let your brothers beat you up and spank you with a paddle in a ritual of an oath. You know what I'm saying? Just to jump around at a party, you know what I'm saying, throwing Greek signs in the air, you know what I'm saying, and just getting full. Ain't no real brotherhood. You got brothers in there taking each other's women. What they call it, running the train on their females. In the spirit of brotherhood. Boy, that is upside down. You know what I'm saying? That is completely out of whack. You know what I'm saying? When you take a certain vow to something, that lets you know where your heart is. Just like when you see these oppressors, when you see the white man, he go to the military, he take that oath, he get in there, he ready to kill. He'll take pledge allegiance to the red, white, and blue. He get out there, he murk everything breathing. He ain't playing. He take a serious oath. But one thing that you don't see in this, what you see everybody being in the Christian church, they don't have a certain oath with the Most High. Christianity is only an oath to yourself. What do you feel like you want to do? What feels good to you? What makes you feel good? There's no oath with the Most High with that. I mean, the pastor goes to church every other Sunday, and he teaches out the same book that tells you not to go and eat crawfish, swine, shrimp, and then at the end of the service, they got a crawfish boil at the back. Right. You know what I'm saying? They got pork chops in the back. You know what I'm saying? Like that, what type of oath are they keeping? Ron, give me Deuteronomy 7 and 8. Then to understand that the Lord even made an oath with us. And that is one important that separates us with these other nations on the earth. We actually have an oath with our maker, our Father, the Most High. Go ahead and read that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 8. But because the Lord loved you, and because he will keep the oath.
He will keep the what?
The oath.
He will keep the promise. Go ahead and read.
Which he had sworn unto your fathers. He had the Lord brought you out of with a mighty hand.
What was the oath that he made with our fathers? Go ahead, Ron.
That will be a special people, sir.
I said, what was the oath that he made with our fathers?
That he would keep that he would keep his word to Abraham.
Con. Like the Most High made a serious promise with Abraham about how he's going to bless his children. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Do thy seed be called. That was a promise that he made with the children of Israel. Go ahead and keep reading.
And redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
See, you understand, like when we made that oath with the Most High, that put us in a special place. That put a beam on our head. Not only that, it put a covering over us if we keep our oath, but if we don't, there's consequences and repercussions. There are conditions to this oath. There are conditions to the Most High's love. Man, my brother, Officer Ron 5000, spoke about this. I want to say about a couple days ago, a month ago, about there's conditions to the Most High love. There's no such thing as unconditional love. You about to say something wrong? There's no such thing as unconditional love. There's always conditions to everything. Just like if you go to work, depending on the type of boss you got, you do good, they pay you good. But if you don't show up, you don't clock in, you don't do the work, you get let go. So you got a type of woman, you treat her right or whatever, she might do good for you. If you don't, she gonna start messing around on you. You know, there's always conditions. Of if you got a child, They doing good in school, buy them what they want. You know, treat them good. You know, buy them a little video game, take them out to play. They do bad. Got to put the leather to the behind. You know what I'm saying? Punish them. Don't spare the rod. If you love the child, you don't spare that rod. You punish them. Just like what the Most High do with us. If we follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, the world is our oyster. If we don't, these curses that fall in Deuteronomy 28 fall upon us. Matter of fact, Ron, give me Nehemiah 10 and 29. Like that was an example of what I'm talking about in this chapter. Go ahead and read that.
This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 10, verse 29. They clave to their brethren, their nobles, and entered into a curse.
Enter into a what?
A curse.
Keep reading.
And into an oath. To walk in God's law.
Go ahead.
Which was given by Moses, the servant of God.
Go ahead.
And to observe and do all commandments of the Lord our God. And his judgments and his statutes.
See, when we made an oath with the Most High, we entered into a curse. Because that means once we make this oath, if we mess up, if we go against what the Most High say, that's when these curses fall upon us. That's how we enter the curse. But if we follow what the Most High says, the world is ours. Like they will look upon us and be jealous of who we are. I mean, the world is already jealous of who we are right now because they know who we are. But just imagine the people that you hate is above you. That is how our oppressor look at us. That's why he tried to keep us below him. He wants to make sure that we don't keep our oath with the Most High. Like when you take a vow with somebody, you have to keep it. But now we want to make a vow with the Most High. Somebody above the average man. Your creator. You want to make a vow with the creator. You want to make an oath with the creator. And now we want to go against it. You asking for your damnation. That's the type of situation that we put ourselves in. And one thing we need to understand is this is not something to play with. Like this is not a situation where like, oh, I can make a promise and I can break it. Like once you come into this truth, you made a serious oath with the Most High. You must walk this truth. You must breathe this truth. I mean, you see your brother stumble, you pick him up. Iron sharpens iron. Give me 1 Samuel 2 and 35, Ron. Like when the Most High looks upon us and we follow him, that's something that we fall into forever. We become his, not only are we his chosen people, but when you start to follow and take this oath seriously, you become the anointed. Go ahead and keep reading. Go ahead and read that for me.
2 and 35.
2 and 35, 1 Samuel.
This is book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verse 35. And I will raise me up a faithful priest.
Now, this is for the men that decide they want to walk this truth. They want to put that oil on their head. They want to put that red dot on their chest with the Most High. I mean, it has its benefits, but it has its consequences if you don't follow this.
Right.
Go ahead and keep reading. Go ahead, read from the top.
And I will raise me up a faithful priest that shall do according to that which is in mine heart and in my mind.
That is according to which is in his mind, heart, and in my mind. Go ahead and keep reading.
And I will build him a sure house, and he shall walk before me, mine anointed, forever.
Read that last part one more time.
And he shall walk before me, mine anointed, forever.
Like when you become a priest in this house, you'll become a priest forever. Like you will, the priests that are here now was priests before time. The same men that you see on this in this I.S.U.P.K street teaching on the street corner, coming to you through these media waves, through your internet, is the same ones that was on that wood podium teaching their people. We those same men. Because once we was anointed forever. The Most High keeps his soldiers. This ain't nothing new. We die, we come back, his soldiers again. Like this is an oath that we don't even realize that we take in our past lives. Like this is something more serious than the He-Man Women's Haters Club. You know what I'm saying? Like this is something that you making with your creator. Like I said, like when you do this, because this is not a religion. This is a culture, a way of life. This is what we do. This is not something that you can just put down on the weekends, go mess with some broads, do what you want to do, and then gets dressed up, you know, on Sunday, whatever, and act like you back in this truth. You gotta understand, not only when you take this oath with the Most High, people look at you as an example. Because they'll see you and be like, oh, I thought he was serious. I thought he was for real. He ain't serious about his walk. He ain't serious about what he do. Like these vows that you make with the Most High come with consequences and repercussions, like I said. Even as a wife to a man in the household or as a daughter to a father, these vows are taken such on a high regard that if you have a man above you and you trying to make a vow with the Most High, if that man does not allow that vow, then it doesn't happen. Matter of fact, Ron, give me Numbers 30 and verse. Let me see. I think it's verse 2.
This book of Numbers, chapter 30, verse 2. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth.
Hold on, go ahead and get that wrong. Go ahead, getting that. So basically, this scripture saying if a man vows and say he's going to do something with the Lord, just like how we make this truth, how we say we're going to be in this truth, that's an oath we made with the Lord. That's a bond we made with our soul, and we cannot break it. That means anything that come out your mouth is golden. You gotta let your yays be yays and your nays be nays. There's no wishy-washy with this type of stuff. What's going on out? What's going on, little quiet? Like this is something serious that the Most High put upon our people. Walking in this truth and being like a soldier in this truth. There can't be no weakness in your speech. No swaying in what you say you're going to do. You can't just say, well, I'm going to take this over, but you know what? Lord, it's getting kind of too hard for me. I probably want to, put it down. And I need to take some time to reflect and go back into the world. Scripture say that's like a dog eating his own vomit. You know what we at? Go read me Numbers 30 and 3. Now this is what happens when a woman tries to make a vow with the Lord.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 30, verse 3. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord.
So if a woman tries to make a oath or a promise to the Lord, go ahead, keep reading.
And bind herself by a bond.
And she tried to promise herself to the Lord. Go ahead.
Being in her father's house. In her youth.
Now if she's still under her father, like she make a promise to the Lord, and she's trying to bind herself, making a promise, but she's in her father's house and she's a young woman. Go ahead and keep reading.
Come, verse 4. And her father hear her vow.
Go ahead. And the father hears this. He hears this this promise. He hears what she's trying to do with the Most High. Go ahead and keep reading.
Come. And her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul.
Go ahead.
And her father shall hold his peace at her.
Go ahead.
Then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand.
So that's saying if there's a woman, young woman, she has no husband, she's in her father's house, she's trying to make a certain promise with the Lord or try to do something, you know, I want to be a nun or something like that. I never want to be married. I'm never, you know, but that father's looking at her like, no, you're going to be married. I got a special brother for you. He said, yeah, read that one more time.
Come. Verse 3. Verse 4. And her father hear her vow.
Go ahead.
And her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul. And her father shall hold his peace.
Go ahead. I'll stop right there. So like it, pretty much if her father hears his voice, hears a vow, and he don't speak on it, then it's locked in. He has no problem with it. Her bond with the Most High, it stands. Read the next one.
Come. Verse 5, sir.
Yeah, verse 5.
It's the book of Numbers, chapter 30, and verse 5. But if her father disallow her.
Now, this is the one that he says if our father disallows, which he's not cool with this vow that he's trying to make. Like if she, like I was saying earlier, if she want to be just, I ain't marry nobody. I ain't trying to be, you know, I want to stay in my father's house. I'm always going to be with her. And her father's like, no, you get on my nerves. I'm going to give you away to a good, solid brother. I got a brother already lined up. Go ahead and keep reading.
Come. Her in the day that he heareth, not any of her vow or of her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. And the Lord shall forgive her because her father disallowed her.
Now, if she tried to make this promise saying, I'm going to stay, you know, under my father's house, make a vow to the Most High, I'm staying in my father's house, I ain't never going to get you married, I ain't never going to whatever. But her father hears that and like, you know what, no, I got a good brother that I got solid for you. You gonna be with a solid brother, whatever, and we're going to make this happen. I'm gonna line him up. I already got him lined up. I already talked to his family. And the Lord would not see that as a promise made by that sister because the head of her disallowed that vow, disallowed that promise. Go ahead and keep reading.
Come, verse 6. And if she had at all an husband, when she vowed or other aught out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul.
Now this one is saying if she has a husband, she's married, she's not in her father's house no more. She tries to make a vow out of her lips through her soul. Go ahead and keep reading.
Verse 7. And her husband heard it and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it. Then her vow shall stand.
Now this is like I said. At first she was under her father's house, but now she's married. Now she has a head, her husband, and he heard it. And this time he hears the peace, but he says nothing. Then her vow stands. Her promise to the Most High stands. And this can be something as simple as like, Lord, I want to promise that my son is going to be a practice as a Nazarite, that he's never going to cut his hair. You know, I don't ever want my son to cut his hair. He's going to be under the Most High, and he's never going to cut his hair. Things of that nature. Then your husband don't say anything about it. Then hey, it is what it is. We keeping the promise. Go ahead and keep reading.
And her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. Verse 8. But if her husband disallow her on the day that he heard it.
Now, if her husband hears it and they're like, nah, I ain't with that. My son, I don't want my son to practice the Nazarite faith. I want him to be able to cut his hair. I want him to do his thing. Go ahead and keep reading.
Then he shall make her vow which she vowed. And that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bought her soul of none effect.
Yeah.
And the Lord shall forgive her.
So pretty much, if the husband hears this vow and he ain't feeling it, you're like, nah, this ain't gonna stand. I'm just giving like a small example as far as a son being a Nazareth, not cutting his hair, letting it grow forever, like Samson. I mean, not Samson. Samson. You know, he said he don't want his son to have that Nazarite faith. He won't be able to have his son have some braids, maybe cut it low, let it grow, cut it low, let it grow. He won't have his son to have that option. And he's like, no, I disavow this vow. It's not happening. And the Most High won't look at it as a promise that wasn't made, because your head that is over you said so. You know, like these oaths, these vows, is like simple to say, it's levels to this. You know, and also when you are in this truth, there's a certain vow that you're supposed to take. And it aligns with what Christ said. Give me Matthew 22:37. Like Christ pretty much summed up what we should be doing when it comes to this book, when it comes to the faith of the Most High. You know, the law, statutes, and commandments lining upon these two things. You know, these like I said, this oath is not something that is temporary or is a phase. You know, go ahead and read that.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22, and verse 37. Yahweh said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
So when you take that oath, you're already saying, like, I love the Most High with all my soul and all my soul and with all my mind. I think what the Lord thinks. I like what the Lord likes. You know, you are on one accord with the Most High. That's the type of oath that you are taking with the Most High. That's the type of oath you need to be speaking with.
Right.
You know, you can't be saying like, yeah. I mean, I know I'm not supposed to be celebrating, you know, Christmas or birthdays, but man, my family's here and, you know, they really want me to go do this. So I'm just going to do this one time. You know what I'm saying? That's like a doorway to everything else. You just broke your oath. You just broke your promise to the Most High. Broke your promise to the Creator. And you act like there's no consequences to that? Go ahead and keep reading.
Verse 38. This is the first and great commandment.
Go ahead.
And the second is like unto it.
So go ahead and read that one more time. Read verse 37 one more time.
Verse 37. Yahweh said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
Go ahead and keep next one.
Verse 38. This is the first and great commandment.
This is the first and great commandment. Loving the Lord with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind.
Right.
That's the first one. You know, that's when you saying like, let me go ahead and stand up for the Most High and take this, get ready to take this oil and be anointed. That's what you're saying to yourself. That's what you're saying. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready. Let me prep myself. Go ahead and keep reading.
Verse 39. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Now, when you are loving your neighbor, this is where the Christian church start to part ways with this. Well, I ain't gonna say this is where they start. This is one of the ways that the Christian church part from this truth. When it says love thy neighbor. Now, of course, they're thinking your next door neighbor, whoever living next door to you, let me love my neighbor. You know, we got to understand the context of who Christ was speaking to when he said this.
Right.
He was in the hood. He was in the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? You in Houston, he was in 5th Ward. You know what I'm saying? He was in Sunnyside. You know what I'm saying? Where all the blacks and Mexicans were sitting at. You know, so he's amongst his people. And if you're among your people, who is your neighbor? Like, who is your neighbor if you're among your people?
Salaka, sir, if I may, your neighbor is your brother of your nation.
Exactly. You in a black neighborhood, your neighbor is another black brother. Or you in a Mexican neighborhood, Israelite neighborhood, and who's your brother? That is correct. Like this is the neighbor that Christ was speaking about. Loving thy neighbor as thyself. Love your brother as thyself. That's one thing that we struggle as a nation of people, because we look at each other as enemy or competition. You know, I done seen so many of our people look at our Israelite brothers, our Mexican brothers and sisters, like they being immigrants in the United States, and they taking all the jobs. You know, or they just coming in and they don't want nobody else to come into this nation, whatever. Like, you got to understand, this was their country first.
Right.
Like the Mexican and Native American was here first. That's the part that you like, really, we are the immigrants, if you think about it. See, that's the crazy thing. That see, the oppressor puts such a notion in our minds to hate our brothers and sisters, puts a wall to separate us, and then calls him the immigrant when he came, put smallpox, put a whole biological warfare on our brothers and sisters, tried to wipe them off the map, kick them out their own country, build up a border, and then say, "Oh, you trespassing on our land, our land, our land." They're the one that come over here in boats, and stuff like that, coming to the Native American.
Right.
Like that is something that's just what my old man say. That's upside down. That makes no sense at all. So that is the type of, I can't even say, it's a mind wipe. It's like they try to manipulate our thoughts of how we view our brothers and sisters. Because at first in biblical time, we're looking at each other as brothers and sisters, and now in modern times we see each other as the enemy, when we all have the same enemy. Over here, the oppressor keeps shooting a black man down in the back. The oppressor keeps shooting the Mexican man in the back, putting them in cages, separating families. Oppressor did the same thing with welfare and what do you call that? The crack epidemic.
Right.
Poured into our neighborhoods, separating families. That's what they do. You separate the families. You change the foundation, and the house cannot stand. If you take a man out the household, you took away the gate. Now the protection's gone. Now the family's vulnerable. Now you got other brothers raising up their sons, and now they dressing up in women's clothes. Look at D. Wade.
Wicked Wade.
You know what I'm saying? Wicked Wade. Son look like a tall female.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? Where was the father? To initial to sit the mindset of how we should behave, how we should act. Like that's something that couldn't stand. That's what happens when the gates are weak. That's what happens when you don't love your neighbors yourself. Like, look, if I had a brother that I knew that's coming to me and say, yeah, my son wants to be a woman, they're like, bro, you can't let that happen, bro. You can't, because if I love my brother as myself, I'm gonna go like, hey, bro, you got to chill out with that. You can't let them happen. Like, I tell him as much as I can, like, hey, man, you got to distill in him. That's your seed. That's your legacy. Now that's gone. Go ahead and read that back from the top. Verse 39.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22, and verse 39. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Verse 40. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
These two commandments hang all the laws and the prophets. Loving the Lord with all your heart and soul, and love thy neighbor as thyself. Like, that's the oath. That's what ties you to this nation, ties you to the Most High. Like, you keeping these commandments and you loving your brother separates you from everybody else. Like, I believe it was Captain Akkad that coined the phrase "brotherhood is a weapon." Like, you had that brotherhood, that sword is sharp. Like, that sword is sharp. You can't destroy it. This is why these other nations try to weaken us by destroying the mindset that we have. I mean, every single so-called black organization that try to stand up and come together always start to build up, then they always start to fall. One thing they don't have is the Most High, because they're not in this truth. I mean, the mindset is good as far as trying to come together, but at the same time, they still not following these law, statutes, and commandments. And look at the Black Panthers. They the one that started the whole the welfare thing that the white man use now. Right. Helping the community, putting food programs together. You know what I'm saying? Giving these households money to keep the rent up, keep the lights on. Even when there was with women that only had their kids with no man in the house, them brother was there to try to help them out. But also, what were those brothers doing? Having sex with white women, doing drugs, selling drugs, polluting the same neighborhoods that they were supposed to be protecting. Go ahead.
It's like it, sir. And for not keeping the commandments, one of the founders died a crackhead.
See? You know what I'm saying? Like that is what happens. You know, like you got to understand, like having this oath is what protects you. And when you don't fear the Lord, everything comes against you. It's like your whole world starts to crumble down because you are not following the oath that the Most High said. Is like you understand, we got a blood oath with the Most High that a lot of our brothers and sisters are just realizing. Like our brothers and sisters just realizing that they are Israelites. You know, they are just realizing like, we are actually the people in the Bible that the Most High made a covenant with. This is why everything that I do, every time I try to come up and try to do something while I'm out here doing my thing, it gets shut down. And then what we usually try to do, you know what, I'm just going to pack up and move and then things will go better. Nah, you're just going to have another bad situation in another city. It's not the city, it's you. No matter where you go, you're going to have the same issues. Fix yourself. That's the problem.
That's right.
Seeing so many people pack up like, yeah, I just came to Houston, you know, I came to Dallas or whatever, you know, came from Atlanta, you know, and I just had to have a different scenery, a different, you know, mindset, whatever. But your mindset is still these hoes and this weed. You're not even worried about what the Most High is saying. So guess what's gonna happen? The same situation. Go ahead.
And Salaka, sir, if I may, and what our brothers and sisters don't realize, once they give those things up, that they feel like they can't go without, life will get much more clearer form.
Facts. That's fact. They'll get. Matter of fact, give me 2 Chronicles 19:9. Like, basically, what you're saying is you will have if you follow on the Most High, I mean, you're gonna have a perfect heart, like a clean mindset of following Him and keeping what you need to be doing. Go ahead and read that.
Is the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 19 and verse 9. And he charged them, saying, "Thus shall ye do in the fear of the Lord."
In the what?
In the fear of the Lord.
How do we fear the Lord?
It's like keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, sir.
Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead and keep reading.
Faithfully, with a perfect heart.
With a perfect heart. I know a lot of people be looking at like, man, I done hear so many Christians say, you know, oh man, yeah, man, nobody can be perfect. You know, ain't nobody can be perfect. You know, there's only one man that was perfect. You know, Christ was perfect. What about Noah? What about Job?
Right.
They were perfect. They wasn't Christ. You know, because everybody try to go, when you say Christ was perfect, well, you know, Christ is the Most High. You know, Christ is, okay, you know what, we just for the sake of argument to go in that whole breakdown scripture that you ain't gonna even listen to anyway. Let me just hit you with that. Job was perfect. Noah was perfect. Now what? Go ahead.
It's like so, and wasn't John the Baptist father considered perfect in the eyes of the Most High?
John the Baptist.
His father.
His father.
Come, sir.
Who was his father? I can't remember his father.
What's his
I
father?
believe his father. Now, the one person I remember is Job and Noah was perfect. That the scriptures say. Like if you pull it. But yeah, those two you can pull and they can't say anything about it.
Right.
Because they'll say they was perfect in the eyes of the Lord.
Right.
You know, it's undeniable. It's not even a breakdown to say to just Now what?
Right. The Lord said they were perfect.
Yeah, it's nothing to say.
Can't get more straight.
It can't get you can't get straighter than that.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's what people try to do is try to find a way to do a scapegoat. When you try to put this truth in their eyes, understand like this is the oath that you should be having. This is the oath that you are already in, that you don't even realize it. This is why we are in the situation that we're in right now. Because of the oath that we have that you still ain't following. This is why we got all these number one in all these diseases like diabetes and AIDS and all this other type of cancer. You know what I'm saying? I done seen so many of our Judite sisters with them fibroids. And fibroids tearing our sisters up. Like that. I done known the sister that went into surgery about 2 or 3 times for fibroid tumors. You know what I'm saying? Like what is that? Tearing us up because we're not following the oath that we're supposed to keep with the Most High. Give me Deuteronomy 13:4. Because the problem is the fear is not set in our hearts. That's the problem. Since we don't fear the Most High, we don't fear what could happen if we don't keep this oath.
Right.
So you gotta understand this is the same God, like I said earlier, that took us out of Egypt. That separated the waters, put a man in the mouth of a fish. You know what I'm saying? Like destroy Babylon. Turn the man's wife into salt just for looking back. Just for looking back. And you don't want to fear him or do what he tells you to do?
Right.
Like, man, this is what it is, because Lord see, like, you don't fear me. You forgot what my name is.
Stop playing with me.
That's it. Stop playing with me. You forgot I'm the one that took down Egypt, took down Babylon. You know what? I'm about to build up America to the point of let this oppressor, let all your oppressors get all these weapons and all that type of stuff. And then I'm going to bring my son in with these angels. And now you ain't going to never forget who my name is.
Right.
Because you act like you done forgot.
Right.
This is a huge movie that I'm about to show. This is The Matrix.
The Matrix.
And my son is Neo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm about to take all down. I'll take all these Agent Smiths all down in one swoop. because you forgot who I am. That's what the Most High is doing. This is a big production that we already in the plot. We getting to the end of the movie. Go ahead and read that for me.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 13 and verse 4. You shall walk after the Lord your God and fear him.
And you shall walk after the Lord their God. You should be looking to walk just like how Christ walked. You should be looking to please the Most High in his sights. Go ahead and keep reading.
And keep his commandments.
And keep all of his commandments. Not just when you want to do on the weekends, not when it feels like this might be the right thing. No. You keep all his commandments with no malice, no strife in your heart. You keep those commandments. Go ahead and keep reading.
And obey his voice. And ye shall serve him and cleave unto him.
This is go ahead. What you about to say?
Sorry, I was verse 5.
No, hold it right there. Like, this is the type of oath that these men in the ISUPK hold right here with this one verse. Like, we are fearing the Most High. We are walking and teaching our people because we terrified. That's straight up and down. We are terrified. We are trying to make sure that we are living in the Most High sights so we look like something that the Most High needs. Not only right now, but also in the kingdom. Like, we're trying to make our election sure. That's what we're trying to do. That's why you see the zeal so strong in the ISUPK, because we are keeping these commandments and we obeying his voice and we serve him.
Right.
Like, we are cleaving onto the Most High because we are terrified of him.
That's right.
That's when fear is what gets things done. You know what I'm saying? When if you ain't scared of something, you're like, man, I ain't worried about that nigga, man.
Right.
That's how we go ahead.
It's like it's if I may, like you just brought out, the fear of the Most High. Our God is a God to fear because he can take you out with a common cold.
A common cold.
Right.
A flu.
A flu.
Straight up flu. I mean, you gotta understand, like you gotta look at it as Friday, and the Lord is Debo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What happened when Debo came around? Everybody tucking the chain. Let's go ahead and tuck my chain in, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how the Most High is.
Right.
Debo come through, you get straight, like, oh shit, let me. But you need to be like that with the Most High every single day, because he ain't just when he come to the room, he sees you all day.
All day.
It ain't no relaxing. It ain't no, okay, he gone now. Let me go ahead and do my thing, No. I mean, you got Debo right here, 24/7, all day. It ain't no what Smokey said when he come around. I keep right when he going. I keep talking about. You know what I'm saying? It ain't none of that, because he around you all day, every day. He got his angels looking at you, taking down notes, seeing how you are, seeing how he gonna place you, looking at you like, do I need him right now? Is there a reason why I'm keeping him around? Is he keeping this promise with me? Hey, is he keeping this promise with me? That's what the Most High is doing. We need to look at it at that. Because these angels coming down to and fro through Jacob's ladder, taking notes. Taking notes and scribes and writing down what we doing and reporting it back. Is he keeping the oath? Is he keeping his promise that his forefathers made? That's the situation that we in. We need to understand that this is a serious and heavy situation. Like, we are we are somewhere where the other nations wish they was at. Like these nations know who we are. They know we got a covenant with the Most High. They know we the Lord's favorite. They know what's going to happen with this World War III. Like they know about World War III. These oppressors know about the Bible. They know what's going to happen. This is why they try to fight it all the time. Why do you think the United Nations happen? They do not want this World War III happening. But you can't stop what the Most High said is going to happen. He's going to put that wordplay in Putin's ear and be like, man, I don't care what the Bible says. I'm Putin and I'm about to have boys Putin. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how he's moving. What you about to say,
It's like it, sir. It was so heavy that you're bringing that out, because what's going on with Putin now, it's the same as with a Pharaoh. You can see that the Lord is hardening his heart, just like he hardened Pharaoh.
Yeah, that's a fact. Matter of fact, oh man, what's the scripture, man? Let me see. That's what's happening. Give me Job. Let me see, Job 2:1. Is it Job 2:1? Or maybe it's 1 Kings 22:22. Let me see something. I think it's 1 Kings. Yeah, give me 1 Kings 22:22.
It's a book of First Kings.
Hold on 1 second. Go up to verse 19. This is what's happening to Putin right now. Like the world is seeing that World War III is about to happen.
Right.
You think these men ain't telling Putin like, look, man, this is biblical. Like this World War III, how Russia and Ukraine is going on, like they see it. He got some men in his ear like, hey, we need to hold off. We need to chill out. But Putin has a spirit in his ear. He has a spirit in his ear saying, hey, you don't worry about them. You Putin, bro. Hit the gas, bro. Don't worry about them. You got this. So Putin, like, you know, you right. I'm the head. I'm the head man in charge. Forget what they're saying. They come in. The Bible. Hit them nukes. Drop them bombs. I ain't worried about you saying, because he got a spirit in his ear that's conveying him to keep on, because the Most High want this to happen. Go ahead and read this. Read that for me.
The book of First Kings, chapter 22 and verse 19.
Hold on, let me get that with you. Go ahead.
And he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all his hosts of heaven standing by him on his right hand.
This is a vision of a man seeing the Most High and seeing his angels among him in council. Go ahead and keep reading.
And on his left, verse 20, and the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead?
Now the Most High wanted a king to go to war so he can kill him. That's what he wanted. So he was saying, which one of y'all are going to go over here and persuade Ahab so I can make it to effect where he can go over there and die in that area? Go ahead, keep reading.
And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. Verse 21.
Now they was coming up with different ways to see how to get this man to persuade him to go over there, and so the Most High can move him to set him up so he can die how the Most High wants him to die.
Right.
Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 21. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him.
And there come one of his spirits and said, I will come over there and I'll make him move. I'll persuade him. I'll go ahead and make it happen. Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 22. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth.
He will be a what?
A lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets.
Go ahead.
And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail. Also go forth and do so.
He's going to be a lying spirit in the mouth of his prophets, his men, his men that he listened to, his counsel, so they can persuade him to go ahead and make that move. Just like when, so you seen it, I don't know if people seen the movie Troy, how before they go and have go to war, they always have a war council to see, hey, should we go to war with these people? Should we go ahead and take them at the beach, or should we go at night? What should we do? That spirit is among his prophets, among his generals, among his council, telling him, go ahead and do this. Go ahead and we got this. We're strong. We're a strong nation. No, you got good, solid men. We can take them. You good. Go ahead and keep reading.
Verse 23. Now, therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee.
See, so the Most High made it happen. He made him go in and put them lying spirits in that man in his prophet's mouth, and that man ended up dying. Because that's what the Lord wanted. That's the same thing the Lord wanted with Putin. That's why he got people out here, Putin. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the plan of the Most High. You can't sway the architecture of the Most High. You can't do it. If he wants something done, it's going to get done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is scripture. And the men of the I.S.U.P.K. been speaking about this same stuff since 1969. You know, we are the priests and prophets of the law of the Most High, and we are following this oath. This is why every time we speak about something, it be happening. I mean, I remember at camp, Officer Malakwa, 5,000, was speaking on the podium, saying that, and this is before COVID, it was pre-COVID, before anybody got sick or anything happening, he spoke in that podium and said, one day you're going to look upon, you're looking upon these men right now, you're looking up as these men dressed all funny, talking all loud, yelling, looking like Power Rangers. You ain't listening to us now, but one day the Lord is going to shut this place down, and you're going to look upon the streets and you're not going to see us. And he's going to send a plague upon this world. And you're going to be looking for the prophet, so he ain't not going to be here. Months later, what happened? COVID happened. People looking for us in the streets. We not there. Whole world shut down. If this ain't the home of the truth, I don't know what is. And he ain't doing nothing but speaking what's in these scriptures. Everything that we speak in this school is written in these scriptures. We're only speaking about what the Most High is saying. He's speaking to you through us. That's what he's doing. And you don't want to listen to the oath keepers? Like, we are the true oath keepers of this nation. But yet, our people want to listen to the man dressed up in alligator shoes, You know what I'm saying? 4 or 5 rings on him with slick back hair like a cow licked his head, like licked the top of his head. You know what I'm saying? Driving the Rolls Royce with the helicopter pad at the church.
And it's like, if I may say, he start off singing a ballad.
Yeah, singing the ballad. You know, he'll throw a whole concert and speak about the Bible for about 5 or 6 minutes. Give you that what you want to hear, and then send you right back to the highest. And then you ask yourself, what did you learn in church today?
I had some word today.
I had some. I learned a good song today.
Good.
I learned a new church song today. Woo, he moved me.
Right.
You get the same thing in the Michael Jackson concert. Niggas fainting and crying. Screaming, Michael!
Damn, that's heavy.
You know what I'm saying? Now you're in church saying, Lord Jesus. Same feeling. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's the same feeling.
Right.
Same feeling, just emotional. You just emotional. That's all it is. You just emotional.
Emotion, that's right.
That's what you are.
Right.
Hit you with them chords, put that music theory on you. You know what I'm saying? Now you just all up in the ballad.
Right.
It ain't nothing but a R&B song with Jesus in it.
With Jesus. Good.
You know what I'm saying? You might as well pop in the Tyrese CD. You know what I'm saying? Feel the same way.
Good.
But like I said, man, understand, like, look what you the oath that you keeping. Look upon yourself and see, are you really do you really want to not keep this oath that you are already in? This blood oath that you're already in? You want to continue to live under these curses, or you want to walk with the Most High? In the steps of the Most High. Be under his eye, be under his watch, covered. That's what happens when you're under this oath. With that, Rom, you got the announcements? Pass the class to Officer Rom for the security announcements. You got them there.
We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Roof for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, out of the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew, Mayasharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations is the Passover, which is the 14th day of the first month, which is Friday, April 15th, 2022. Out of the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 1 through 51. Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 4 through 5. 1 Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 7 through 8. And 2 Chronicles, chapter 30, verse 17. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And those are security announcements.
That is the Israelite School and Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West, 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, under Commandment General YAHANNA. I'm going to courtesy salute to the brothers. I'm going to courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, by Shabbat, Majid, Rock, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah. Top, Sar to the sisters. Men of Israel, by Shabbat, Majid, Rock, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Yasmin Ta, dismiss.